Okay. I don't know if you saw me blow my nose, but I am ready to rock and roll right now. Here we go. So I'm gonna be recording my podcast episode for the day. Fantastic one. This one is about wandering. So we are gonna go and do that. Here we go. Hello and welcome back to the Martial Arts and Crafts Podcast. I'm Sarah Deacon. I'm your host. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Today's episode is about wandering. And I'm going to start with a quote. And it is from a book I've never read, but I found this quote and I thought it was a really good one. And it's by Roman Paine from a book called The Wanderess. A person does not grow from the ground like a vine or a tree. One is not part of a plot of land. Mankind has legs, so it can wander. Now, when I think of wandering, I think of detachment, being untethered. I think of motion without maps. I let my mind wander. I wander with my kids through the woods, through Target, or around a park. I think about meandering down trails of dirt, trails of thoughts. I think of that one song, "'Cause he's the wanderer. Yeah, he's the wanderer. I'm the wanderer. I run around, 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 around." Okay. That one song. Or the Tolkien quote, "Not all those who wander are lost." Right? That's the one. Not all those who wander are lost. That's the one. And I think about all those things, and to wander is something I've always done. I've always been kind of a daydreamer, and it's a calling and it's a command to wander. And it is, I don't think any accident. As a word nerd, I'm noticing this. I don't think it's any accident at all that the word wander and the word wonder are so similar. Just one letter that's different, right? Allowing your mind to wander is something that maybe you don't do very often these days. You're listening to a podcast. So I know in my experience, I put on a podcast so that I can feel productive while I'm doing something more mundane, like folding laundry, washing dishes, driving in my car, something where I can't put my full visual and auditory attention on a thing at the same time. So I multitask, I put on a podcast, and it feels like doing stuff. So maybe you're like me and that's something you also do. And you don't always give yourself the time, the space, the silence to let your mind wander. You always maybe have your phone in your hand, but wandering through Twitter or through Candy Crush isn't quite the same thing as letting your mind wander more freely. You have deadlines to meet. Somebody else is seeking your attention. If you've got kids, that's a thing. Of course, you should be doing something else, something productive. You have to-do lists, you have all these things, emotions, people, tasks, all trying to interrupt your focus. There is obviously no time at all left over for just wandering. But here's the thing. Wandering unties these demands like sandbags from the hot air balloon. Daydreaming or a wandering mind really deserves more credit for our progress and our growth than it gets. It's the fuel, it's the flame that rises higher. If we're going with the balloon metaphor, that wandering mind, that's time spent in silence or stillness or imagination or thought without distraction or with distraction, and just letting our minds wander and riff off it. That's the fuel, that's the fire. Without those times, we risk burnout. We risk a lot more danger, because it's in our wandering mind where we discover delight, where we find our way to these incredible new ideas and new paths to explore more deeply. Allowing yourself to wander in your mind and in your body, and even taking a walk, it's been proven scientifically to improve performance and productivity. If you take a quiet shower, you might find some super thrilling ideas in there. Just as you turn off your mind, going through those well-worn motions of washing and rinsing and all the things without thought, letting your mind breathe while the body just moves on autopilot, walking without a podcast in your ear or music does the same thing. Your body just goes. Driving, you turn off the radio and just go. Let your thoughts go while you pay attention to the road. If you're going someplace new, don't turn off your navigation or let your mind wander too far, because you want to make sure you actually get where you're going in a timely manner and in one piece. But if you're traveling one of those really well-worn roads, like you're on your commute, you drive that same way every day, that's a great time for the mind to wander, to say prayers, to be in silence, to be in your own imagination. When you don't have to think about what you're doing or where you're going, the mind rejoices. It jumps up and it is ready to play. It gets excited and it begins to dance as the binds of busyness loosen. And that's why maybe you hear it around memes, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, a lot of guides and gurus telling you to slow down, find some quiet. Here's my voice adding to that noise, telling at you, screaming at you to slow down, get quiet. Yes. It's ironic. I don't know if ironic is the word. Yes, it is interesting that we are screaming for silence right now, right here. But you really do. We really do need it. We need to create space in our lives to just be. Because it's in these quiet, undirected, unassigned moments, it's there that magic happens. Your unstructured wandering paints this background for your brilliance to shine through. Some of my biggest personal insights about myself, or even about other really important people in my life, have come to me in this space of wandering. In fact, I occasionally will meet a friend for a walk, and a few weeks back, we met at a track, and the track is circular. So we did not have to think at all about our movement or our direction. And we had the peripheral awareness of the physical environment, any other walkers that were using the track or running the track around us. And occasionally we'll, glance at each other to check body language, make sure that we're hearing right or whatever. But this kind of walk where most of it, we just don't have to think. This walk, hundreds of walks like it. What do those times of walking, especially with somebody walking, processing, talking through things with a friend, hundreds of walks like that have done more for my personal growth and my integration of different learning and lessons and values and perceptions of other people. That integration, these walks do more for that kind of growth and integration than anything else that I've experienced, whether it's reading books or attending workshops or watching webinars or watching videos or TED Talks. Walking, talking, walking, moving, processing, wandering, letting myself just go and flow and be right there with that. That's where everything gets reinforced for me. Everything kind of comes together. And I level up in those moments. And that day I met my friend at the trek, my friend was the one who supported, coached, and counseled me. On other walks, our roles have been reversed, where I've been more of the coach and counselor. But the beautiful thing about walking is that walking gets us out of our heads and really just into our bodies in the most primal, visceral way, so that whatever is buried underneath all those busy, anxious, noisy thoughts can bubble up to the light through the motion of our bodies, that momentum, that rhythm. And moving the body unlocks the depths of our soul. When we move, when I move, when you move, we process, we integrate. Like I was saying, we can actually really surprise ourselves with what comes up and allow ourselves to play with new ideas, new emotions or expressions or ways of showing up, ways of being in the space, in our bodies, in our minds, in our thoughts. And here we are. We're still early in the year, in a new-ish year. We're still at this beginning. And as spring comes, it's another level of renewal, right? Spring being on its way. It's in the air. I can feel it. You can feel it by the time this episode is posted. Hopefully we'll be full on into spring. And whether you're still sitting with and setting up some New Year intentions that maybe you failed to do in January or didn't quite get to in January, we won't say fail. Or maybe you're gearing up for this springtime revival now that the hibernation period has come to an end. You probably have some physical goals. You probably have some life goals. Maybe they're personal, maybe they're professional. You're looking for clarity. You're looking for confidence. You're looking for balance, connection. Why not try a walk? Take a walk by yourself. Let your mind wander. Leave the phone at home, or if you must bring it, put it on focus mode or airplane mode or whatever mode, that it's silent, that you have it in case of emergency, but you turn it off. You're not listening to music. You're not listening to me. You're not listening to another podcast. You're just there with the rhythm of your steps, with the environment around you, whether you're walking indoors or outdoors on a treadmill or in a track or in the wilderness somewhere. Listen to that environment. Listen to the rhythm. Listen for the birds. Listen for the noises in your home. Listen to your breath, the expanding and the contraction of your muscles. Follow the flow of your ideas as they start to emerge and they crack open their shells and test out their wings. Walk with a friend. Walking with a friend when you have something weighing you down can help to lighten your load. When we connect and carry each other, we walk in alignment with a larger purpose. So invite a friend to go for a walk with you. I love walking with my friends. And even walking outside when the temperatures were maybe, I think, somewhere in the teens, I did it. I walked anyway with a friend because that was where we were and that was what we needed. It didn't matter where we went. It doesn't matter where you go and it doesn't matter how you move, just move. It's powerful. We move our minds so much more effectively when we move our bodies at the same time. Fun fact, I have even done a few laps around my house while I write my episodes, write my blogs, write whatever else I might be writing. I get up, I get my body moving. And I think it's just very exciting. Again, as the weather warms up, through my coaching business, on that side of things, I do offer the opportunity for live in-person connected coaching, but the only way I will do live coaching, just because virtual is so much easier over the phone, is so much easier for scheduling purposes. But I do actually offer one in-person service, and that in-person service is what I call wandering sessions. A wandering session is where in the Milwaukee area, I will meet in person with someone and we will walk and talk, and I coach as we walk and talk. And this offer was inspired by those walks I've taken with friends, where sometimes I've needed support, sometimes they've needed support. I found such value in moving my body to unlock or unstick my mind that I offer the same breakthrough experience to my clients. So if you've never hired a life coach before, it can be really hard to know where to start. And if you're in the Milwaukee area, I would invite you to reach out and find out more about the wandering session, because it's just one time, and it's an invitation from me to take the first step to getting some support and encouragement in your life. Literally, this is the first step, and we will walk. So when was the last time you allowed your body or your mind to wander? What was it like? And do you have a regular movement practice? I think it's so important, even if you can't walk for long distances, find some way to move your body that feels good for you. It doesn't have to be anything that you would consider like traditional exercise. You don't have to do an hour at the gym 3 times a week. Just sit, stretch, lie down, roll around. You can squat down, you can stand on your tiptoes, you can stand on one leg, you can put on some music and just move in the way that feels good. Do something. That's your challenge this week. Find a way to move your body. And if you have a regular movement practice, I would love it if you would share any insights with me. You can find me at mymartialartsncrafts.com, My Martial Arts and Crafts on Instagram and Facebook, or Sarah Deacon Coach on Instagram and Facebook for my coaching business, or sarahdeacon.com. That is really all I have for you today. So I would love to hear how your movement practice, how walking, how wandering in your mind, body, or spirit has helped you to tap into your own inner wisdom and really learn something new about yourself or someone else. So thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to talking with you again next time. All right, recording has stopped.